Welcome back to Leadership Edge. I'm Dr. Chavonne, your life, business, and career coach. I hope you all are enjoying the month of February. I know I am. We are almost at the end. Of course, February only has 28 days and it flies by. And if you've noticed, January even flew by as well. But I am glad to have you today. If this is your first time, I encourage you to go and check out episodes 1 and 2 of Leadership Edge on our YouTube channel, Dr. Chavonne Stewart. And we welcome you and we hope that you continue to follow us. So don't forget to go out and subscribe to the channel. I want to let you know that I am here as your leadership empowerment coach to empower you as a leader to step into your full potential, making you from going from being stoppable to unstoppable. Our purpose here is to elevate you in your career. Are you looking to transition? Are you looking to make a career change and personal growth? And the way we do it and the way I will do it is to provide you with practical leadership strategies and inspiring insight. Today's episode, we're going to dive into a topic called Mastering Assertive Communication, Speaking with Confidence and Respect. This particular topic is an extension from our January newsletter. So don't forget to go out to our website at www.globalleadershiptechniques.com and sign up so that you'll be a part of the group receiving all the tools and tips that I share on a regular basis, and you'll be able to get our monthly newsletter. And I felt like it was very important to extend what I discussed in that newsletter, because what I've learned from that newsletter is, and previous, that women struggle with owning our voice. And so we're going to do Mastering the Assertive Communication, which is an extension of owning your leadership voice. Keep in mind, as I've told you before, we are all leaders in some capacity, whether you're a leader in the home, because I look at it this way. If you're the main one making sure the mortgage is paid or the rent is paid, you're buying the groceries for the home, making sure the lights are kept on and the gas is on, you're providing for someone, whether it's your children or a parent that you may be a caregiver for, you are a leader in some capacity. And whether you're a leader in ministry or in business or in the nonprofit arena, there are things that you can do to help enhance your leadership skills to make you be the best leader possible. Of course, I would always let you know that the greatest example of a leader that we have is Jesus Christ. He set the precedence, and there's no reason why each and every one of us cannot rise to the task and lead as Jesus led here in the earth. And so I'm glad that you're tuning in. And by the end of this episode, you will walk away with 5 actionable strategies to elevate your communication skills. But before I go into our topic for today, as I stated, we are in the month of February, and our nation, the United States, has allowed for us to recognize this month as Black History Month. But anyone who gets to know Chavonne is, I love history, and I believe we should celebrate history 365. So I choose to celebrate Black history every day of the year. But this time around, I decided to do something a little differently. We all know about the Oprah Winfrey's, the Mary McLeod Bethunes. We know about the W.E.B. Du Bois, or we know about the Carter G. Woodsons. But I want to talk about those unsung heroes that made an impact in our history as well. And today, it is my pleasure and my privilege to recognize Septina Poncet Clark. She was born in 1898 and died in 1987, and she is known as the mother of the movement. Miss Clark was a pioneering educator, which I have to toot her horn because I'm an educator as well, and a civil rights leader who championed grassroots citizenship education. Like I said, she was born in 1898 in Charleston, South Carolina, and spent over 40 years teaching in Black schools while pursuing higher education, earning a BA from Benedict College and an MA from Hampton Institute. In 1937, she studied under W.E. Du Bois at Atlanta University, currently known as Clark Atlanta University. Ms. Clark played a key role in a landmark NAACP lawsuit that secured pay equity for Black teachers in South Carolina. In 1956, she was dismissed from her teaching position for refusing to resign from the NAACP, further solidifying her legacy as a fearless advocate for racial justice and education. Today, I salute Miss Septima Clark for pioneering education, standing on her convictions, and making a difference during the civil rights movement. Woo, that was awesome, guys. I tell you, like I said, I'm an educator, and I am what we would consider a generational educator. I am in higher ed, but those before me served in primary school, which is just as important as higher education. So, Ms. Clark, we thank you for what you did for us in the movement. So let's go back to assertive communication. And I'm sure Miss Clark was really assertive in her day and time. I'm sure she stepped outside the box. I'm sure she represented women in a way that back then women were not even supposed to have a voice, let alone speak out on things such as civil rights and equal pay for teachers. And so when we think of assertive communication and how it matters, let's look at the context of it. So let's look at assertive versus passive versus aggressive communication. Assertive communication is specified as the ability to speak and interact in a manner that considers and respects the rights and opinions of others while also standing up for the rights and needs and personal boundaries. So not only are you speaking up for others, but you're maintaining your own personal boundaries. It's non-confrontational. So that being assertive doesn't mean you're being confrontational. You're not going after anyone. Assertive leaders influence, they don't intimidate. It's all in the tonality of your voice when you're being assertive. It's about clarity. It's about speaking with confidence and a surety that you know what you're talking about. And so that when you're speaking it, people can pick up in that tone and how you present it, that this person knows what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. They're giving us the best advice, and you're going to do it with respect. So here you go. I want to give you a prompt. If you've ever struggled with balancing confidence and consideration in conversations, just say yes or no. If you want to give a more detailed response, share it with us. I want to hear what are some times where you've had to engage and where you were being assertive, you're being confident, and you know you're being considerate in the conversation, but even in the end, it still didn't work out, or people still saw you as maybe potentially, as we say, being a bully in the conversation. It's going to happen because you have to always remember no matter what you do, no matter how you try to present yourself, how you try to take people into consideration, some people are going to just be in their feelings. But you have to maintain who you are, your integrity, with the confidence and the respect that you have for yourself. So here's some strategies for assertive communication. Strategy number one, use I statements for clarity and ownership. Here's an example. Instead of you never listen, say, I feel unheard. So a lot of times we say, you never listen to me. You never hear what I have to say. No, I feel that you're not listening to me. I feel that I'm unheard in this particular situation. That puts the authority back in your hand. It shows that you're being assertive. It shows that not only that you're listening, you're paying attention to what's being said and what's not being said. Number two, master the art of active listening. Here's a quick role play for bad listening versus active listening. When you're truly actively listening to someone, you're going to provide the modes of communication. You have nonverbal communication. That's a mode where when someone is speaking, you nod your head, or you may look and you may side your head, like giving them movement that you are acknowledging what they're saying. Also, active listening means whatever they have said to you, you're able to reverberate it back to them. You're speaking it back. So if they say, oh, today I didn't feel so well because I had a bad headache and I had to go take my children here, I had to pick up my mom, you would go back and say, hey, I know you mentioned that you weren't feeling good today. You said you had a headache, you had to pick up your children, you had to take care of your mom. That's just a way for you to show the person that you're in tune with what they're saying, you care about what they're saying, and that's a great skill to have, the ability to actively listen. So if you are struggling in an area of listening, I encourage you to practice on your job. Do role playing with your team. That way, everyone involved on the team is able to practice the skill set to become better at it. Because the better we are at listening, the better we are at drawing the team and making our team members feel like we truly care about them. Strategy number three, say no without guilt. I am a living witness. As much as you may try to say no, it's something on the inside of you where you're like, oh, should have done that? Oh, I feel bad about this. But no is not a bad word. And in some cases, you just have to put your foot down and you have to say no, and you have to stand strong on that no. For example, you just simply say, I appreciate this opportunity, but I can't commit right now. Maybe your plate is full. You have a family. Let me take a side note. Work-life balance is important. If you don't have a family, meaning you're not married, you don't have kids, you still need to balance work life. Being single does not mean that people can just treat you any kind of way or just say, oh, she's available because she's single. No, you need to take some time for yourself. I asked somebody at a presentation that I did back in December, I said, do you have a hobby? I do. I go play pickleball. That's my time. That's my work-life balance. That's what I am enjoying doing. Do I allow people to infringe on my pickleball time? No. When people want to have a meeting with me, I'm like, oh no, that's my pickleball time. So it's okay. It's okay to have that hobby. It's okay if that hobby is simply picking up a novel. Maybe you just want to read something that may not even pertain to work or ministry. Just pick up a good book, read it. I remember when I was managing the family business and the book, The Da Vinci Code, came out, and I got that book and I would bring that book with me every day to work. And when I sat down to have my downtime, I read the book because it was good. It was adventurous. It was a mystery. You got murder. You got all these different things going on. And it attracted me. And so that was my downtime, to the point where a business owner next door would come by and see me reading. It's like, that book is really good to you, because every time I see you, you're reading. I'm like, yes, it's really good. And this is my time to decompress, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Take your time, decompress, set your boundaries. It's okay. If you're working on a skill, maybe you like to crochet, maybe you like to knit, maybe you want to learn how to play the piano, whatever the case may be. Put those boundaries up, those work-life boundaries. Set those boundaries and don't allow people to infringe on your boundaries. Number 4, watch your tone and body language. I mentioned tonality earlier. It's very important. When you have a too aggressive elevated tone, it could be intimidating to someone, especially maybe a person who is more of an introvert, and they're already clamoring together. They're already like, oh my gosh, please don't ask me a question in this team meeting. So your tonality is very important. So make sure you're using open and closed body language. Use words that words matter. Make your delivery have an impact. Come in encouraging the people. Come in saying woohoo. Clapping hands, getting everyone involved in the empowerment. That way it can relax the situation, and then you go into, okay, well, we're going to discuss this today, but it's a way to deal with whatever problems that we're having, and using those right words to draw the people into the conversation to where the tone does not seem as intimidating. And finally, I want to tell you this: practice, reflect, and adjust. We're not perfect. God's word tells us we won't be perfected until his return. So we're going to make mistakes. The best leaders in the world to say is the one who can say, you know what, guys? Oh, I messed up right there. Let me correct that. You will gain so much trust and so much respect from your team by simply doing that. Well, let's go back to not being perfect. Even when you are bold in that manner to say, I made a mistake, keep in mind somebody may try to use that against you still, but you maintain your integrity regardless of what others may do. You maintain being assertive in your communication regardless of what others may say. No one is perfect. Reflect. Always reflect. When you have a meeting, go back and think about how that meeting went. How was the flow in that meeting? Think about ways that you can improve within the meeting that you may have had. Think about ways, maybe it was a training that you were doing with your team. Think about ways that you can go back and make improvements for the next session that you do. Learn from every session. As leaders, if you're not learning, I'm sorry to tell you, you're dead. We should always be in a place of learning. We should always be in a place to be teachable. God's word tells us to have a teachable heart. Be teachable. Watch what others are doing. Take hold to what they're doing. Take those ideas down. Document them. Keep a journal. Keep a spiral notebook. Write down thoughts when you see things and you're like, oh, I like what they did right there. Let me see how I can implement that in my training sessions, or let me see how I can implement this in my meeting sessions. You're always growing. When you as a leader desires to improve, as you desire to improve, so does your team desire to improve. And that's very, very important. So let me take a recap for you. We covered 5 key strategies for assertive communication. So I want to ask you, which one resonated with you? Think about it. I'm going to take a pause right here, and I want you to really think. Think about the strategies that I share. I said, number 1, use I statements for clarity and ownership. Number 2, I said, master the art of active listening. I said, number 3, say no without guilt. Number 4, I said, watch your tone and body language. Number 5, I said, practice, reflect, and adjust. So which one of those tones resonated with you? Drop your favorite strategy in the comments below. Let's have more conversation about it. And whichever strategy resonated with you the most, think about how you can take that strategy and implement it in the next event that you might be hosting. Thank you so much for joining me today of this Leadership Edge. I hope and pray that the tips that I've given you today, the strategies that I've given you today, that you can take these strategies and apply them into your daily life, whether you're in ministry or the marketplace. I want to encourage you to go out and subscribe to my page, Chavonne D. Stewart, or I should say Dr. Chavonne D. Stewart. Also, you can follow me on social media at Global Leadership Techniques on Instagram, as well as on LinkedIn and on Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you. Also, in the box below, you'll see where you can click on the website to get access to resources that's on the website. And if you are looking for someone to be your coach or your mentor, I encourage you to schedule a Become Unstoppable Discovery Call. It's a free 30-minute call that I offer for all people who are interested. And you can go out, you can schedule that call, and we can have a 30-minute discovery talk to find out where you are, to see where you're trying to go. I am here to serve you, and I look forward to seeing you at our next episode of The Leadership Edge. Have a blessed day.